What's good, people? We are back with a bang. It's the North London podcast back. We've got Spurs fans again with us. Unbelievable. I mean, like we've been, myself and Judges have been running the show. You know, it's as if Tottenham ain't been playing in Europe or something. It's been a while since I've seen Tottenham play football. Now, listen, big up, lads. Henry, Sean, absolute legends. Great to see you both back, so we can have a bit of banter.
Funny though, Dave. Come on, funny, isn't it? Like that they've turned up after a 4-0 away win at Aston Villa, like, you know what I mean? Hey?
Well, Henry was moving house. I mean, where does Henry live? I mean, what's he moving house into? I mean, it's been 4 weeks to move house. What's going on? Like, how big is his house?
Well, you know what I mean? He's moved in. Funny enough, now, like, you know what I mean? 4 goals, 4 bedrooms, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So he's here, isn't he?
Yeah, I moved into a 4-bed house, and I got Unai Emery as the housekeeper after we've absolutely battered them. But yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be back on. Sorry, the camera's a bit wonky. It looks like wardrobe's wonky, but the tripod's broken. But yeah, I'm good. 4-0. You know, Villa are winning tonight, so it means they're going to carry on in Europe. We're probably going to be favourites for that 4th spot. And yeah, everything's looking rosy.
It is looking rosy, mate, and I do think you will get 4th. Sean, still finishing above Arsenal, like you say. So how's that looking now? Is that looking good?
Well, I've been crunching some numbers, and I've got there's a slight little part of me that feels like just before the end of the season that me and Henry are going to be on top of that, on the top shelf of the panel again. Because you know what? You guys have got to come to us. If we beat Fulham, it's only 8 points. You got to come to us. You got to play City. You lose those games, we go on a run. It gets tighter than you think. So I'm hanging on. To a little bit of hope that at some point
you're a finance man. You know, you're a finance man. And you've done the maths, which worries me because I'm not a finance man. And
the math says no chance. But you know, I'm still gonna.
Well, man, you never know in football with crazy things happen. Deji wants to try and bet me that they still will finish above us, but you know, it's one of those things. This is Deji for you, not Henry or Sean. So we don't get Deji on here all the time. He comes on my show and he's lost £100 now off a Lawless. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like he's told him twice
he wouldn't win a game for the next 5.
He bet him £50 that West Ham won't win in the next 6 games, right?
Wow.
Which is a mad bet to do. And then when they won the first game of that 1 in 6, they won. They beat Brentford 4-2. He then bet again. He went, well, I'll bet you another £50 that you will not win in the next 4. And then they went and beat. Who did they beat? Everton in the last minute. To be fair to Dej, they were actually losing 1-0 until like the 90th minute. And he said, well, we got Burnley in that 6. We'll definitely beat them. And to be fair, they shit the bed against Burnley. It was quite funny, to be fair, because I don't like West Ham. I didn't used to mind West Ham, but then we signed Rice, and now I hate them because they hate us. So Lawless is one of the worst at it as well, I must say. But they're now the best thing since sliced bread because they've beaten Freiburg by 5 goals. So they're now winning the Europa League again.
Did you see that kudos goal, though? Did you see that?
Apparently, it was unreal. I've not seen it. Apparently, it was unreal.
No,
unbelievable. It's up there with the Sonny goal against Burnley from a few years ago that won the Puskas. I'm not going to say this one's a Puskas award winner, but it's not dissimilar. Gets the ball 5 yards outside his own area, just drives and dribbles past 3 players on the way to putting it top or bottom bins. It was delicious.
Wow, that is mad. Listen, for those of you that have not watched EastEnders yet, they are putting out a advert, and they need a couple of actors, and I might have found a couple. Yes, Judges.
Hello, Dan. How you doing? You all
right?
What
you, bro?
I'm actually watching the football, mate. This Surfshark VPN is a lifesaver, mate. You can watch the football with a dodgy Wi-Fi, even at the Emirates when you've got a big crowd there and everything like that, watching the football. Unbelievable.
Easy to set up? Well, it must be if you've done it, mate.
Oh, very, very funny. Even abroad you can watch all your favourite programmes. It's like being at home, mate.
And that's exactly what you guys can do too. Click the link in the description for Surfshark VPN. There we go.
Amazing.
Apparently, EastEnders said, "Don't phone us, we'll phone you."
Well, which was a shocker, really. I was disappointed, like, you know what I mean?
I thought it was good, a bit of acting on our half. Judge, you know what I'm saying?
I thought it was Phil Mitchell for a minute there. I have to say that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mate. More like Grant, mate.
Phil and Grant. Yeah.
That's even better. I think he's a better actor out of the two, like, you know.
More like Billy.
Billy Mitchell. Honestly, in seriousness, guys, make sure you go over to Surfshark VPN. The link is in the description, and also I pinned it in the comments as well. All you got to do is click the link and go and sort yourself out VPN. There's a lot of people talk about this at the moment. I know Expressions is talking about it as well, so make sure you go and do it and get yourself the VPN. Let's talk football. Champions League. Judges. I'm going to bring the boys in a minute. But judges, draw tomorrow. Everyone's talking about it. Who do we want, or do you not care?
Yeah, I don't care. I see a tweet from a Spurs fan today. He said there's 7 elite teams in Arsenal, like, you know what I mean? And how would he know what an elite team was? You know what I mean? I have to say, like, you know. So, but I thought it was quite funny.
Well, Jamie O'Hara, was it? Jamie O'Hara.
I don't know, like, you know what I mean? So
that bloke is a wally, isn't he? What a donut he is. I mean,
I'm sure that he's sucking on a lemon somewhere, like, you know. So at the end of it, I don't care who we get, really. Apart from, I'm going to say it now, I don't want to get Man City. It's not because I'm scared of Man City and whatever. It's just that, you know, Champions League, I want to go abroad. You know what I mean? I don't want to be going to Manchester. Not quite yet. I don't mind going in a semi-final if that has to be. Or, you know, and in fact, I don't really mind going to Wembley and not travelling. But, you know, I want to sort of travel a few, you know, like experiment a few more nights out on the continent. Let's put it that way. Like, but yeah, I don't care who we get. Look, listen, every game's going to be tough. That was a tough game on Tuesday night, then, and people will turn around and go, "Oh, we didn't." It weren't a great game and all that. They didn't let it be, you know. But I thought we managed the game well. We didn't do nothing silly. We didn't leave ourselves open. I watched the Rangers go. I don't know if you've seen that, like, but like they've left themselves wide open at the back for the counter attack and got done. We didn't do that. We kept it tight, kept ourselves in it, and at the end of the day, you know, relied on the penalties and got us through there. So this is a good night for us financially, everything like that, and I'm pretty sure the Spurs fans are interested all the way through the penalties and then turned off, which is great. Like, not just Spurs fans, every other, you know, Manchester United fans.
On that point, by the way, just quickly, sorry to cut you off, Judge, right?
Yeah.
I said this on my channel last night. I have never seen so many hate-alongs for a football game in my life. I've never seen it, mate. It was we are so relevant at the moment. Like, what is happening here? Like, this is what I don't get. I totally appreciate we've got a deluded section of our fan base, right? But we are literally, people are obsessed with Arsenal. I do not understand why.
No,
we
haven't
actually, won a Premier League for 20 years and a Champions League. Well, we've never won a Champions League. We only won a European Cup 30 years. Yet everybody is obsessed with us. They hate it. It's like, let's get a hate along. Oh, Arsenal won. It's ruined my whole week. Oh my God. What is going on here? This is embarrassing, really.
I think you've actually got the biggest online fan base in the country.
It's mad.
Yeah, but Dan, I was going to say there's maybe a lot of people that are doing hate-alongs, but then you've got Tottenham fan number 3 over there he's got a second channel called Henry Talks Arsenal. The last 10 videos he's done is all about Arsenal are phenomenal. Arsenal are scary. Arsenal need to be stopped.
What I will say is that game,
impressive.
If you are an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't want Madrid, City, or Bayern. Now, people say, we can beat Bayern, but I personally don't feel the squad have performed well over the 2 legs. I thought they were a little bit caught by surprise. Porto were very organised. You know, that they shit us the way they dived a couple of times, but their organisation was spot on. First 15 minutes at the Emirates, I think their game management was pretty good. Arsenal fan, bit nervous. As soon as you got the goal, though, I thought you'd go and blow them away. I thought you'd go and get another 1, 2, or 3 goals, which you've done recently. But they hung in there. If you play like that over 2 legs against Madrid, Bayern, or City, they'll score 3 or 4 goals past you.
Which is set up like that, though, Henry.
I think Bayern will set up like that against you because I don't think Bayern are that strong defensively. Like
I would say, I would agree with you in the 3 teams, but I would swap Bayern with Atletico Madrid. I don't want them.
That's the team you want.
Yeah, that's the team that I don't. You did right, Dan. That's the team. We want teams to come and play us.
He did it in Liverpool a few years ago. He was running up, giving it the cojones to the cop. That's what he does. And last night, Inter Milan are flying in Serie A. They win 5 of their next 10 games. They've won the league. No team in the last decade has won the league that early in Italy. They are absolutely flying. They're the best team defensively in all the top 5 leagues, right? And Atletico peppered them for 90 minutes last night. And I was about to say, Marie, Simeone's changed his ways now. He used to have this tag as this, we're going to put 5 men behind the ball with 3 DMs in front and get you on the counter. He started playing a bit of champagne football sort of things. But if I was Arsenal, I wouldn't want to get Madrid or City.
No, I want Man City to get them, to be honest.
I think
Man City will have enough to get past an Atletico Madrid. I kind of agree with what you're saying, Henry, but I think Madrid have got Atletico have got a couple of players at the top end of the pitch that are frightening on the break. In that Riquelme, I think he's sensational. But I think if Arsenal, I watched I thought the game against Porto. I thought it was a brilliant game. I thought the first half was delightful as a battle, a chess game. And I thought the second half, if I'm honest, I thought Porto edged it.
Yeah.
And I thought that, neither team really kind of were threatening or sort of got to the point where it looked like either team deserved it. But if any team did, I just think that Portuguese teams maybe have a little bit of confidence now. 2 teams in 2 years coming to your ground and not treating it like the intimidating place that most Premier League teams perceive it to be. They come there with a plan and a strategy and affected it really, really well. And if Porto had got the job done, I think they would have been fully worth it. But once it went to penalties and the atmosphere, your stadium was deafening in the penalty shootout at least. And I thought once it went to penalties, it was a kind of fait accompli. But brilliant tie, brilliant over 2 legs, really, really. And I didn't think it would have been, but actually, it was a really, really impressive battle between the 2 teams over 180 minutes.
Do you think, Sean, Arsenal could beat Bayern Munich and Barcelona over 2 legs?
Yeah, I do. I think you've got the better of certainly Barcelona. Bayern Munich, I don't know which Bayern Munich are going to turn up. I think Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich are rattled as an outfit right now. Bayern Munich seem a little bit rattled. I think there's a lot of discontentment amongst their ranks. I don't really follow German football that well. I see the highlights and stuff, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I fully understand it. But I think that you'll be okay against most of the draws. I think that the one team that apart from Real Madrid and City, the one team I think you shouldn't be confident from would be Atletico Madrid. I think that's the team that I think have got a way of setting up that would really wind you lot up over 180 minutes.
They'd appeal for everything. They'd be in the Emirates. They'd be on the floor, time wasting. He would shit out his way through. I think if you get Bayern Munich though, with the experience of the likes of Kimmich, Neuer, Muller, they've been there, seen it, done it.
Harry Kane though, he's going to get his goal against us because if we do,
1,000,000%, it will score both legs. I think defensively you're much stronger than them. Their defense is woeful, and I know they've only conceded 28 goals in the Bundesliga, but they give up so many chances. And I think Bayern are on the decline. They won the league last year on the last game of the season by goal difference. Dortmund dominated that league the whole way through. This year they're being done over by the likes of Bayer Leverkusen, who could actually do a quadruple. I don't think Bayern are that good, but this Bayern team still has experience. If I was Arsenal, I'd be hoping to get Dortmund. Dortmund are the team I think
that's the team we all want. I mean, that's the team everyone wants, but maybe that's a bit foolish. Remember last year, was it Benfica? They were like, try and get them all, and they just kept going through. Sometimes that can happen with crazy ones, but I must say, and a lot of people take away the footballing league, because it would be horrible. But Simeone and Arteta on a touchline would be quite fun, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ.
It would be fun. But I'm with you on that. I out of every team, I think that, listen, if we got Man City, we've beaten before, they've beaten us, but they'll come out and play. I think Real Madrid will come out and play. I think that I think Dortmund will come out and play. I think Barcelona will come out and play. The one team that I don't think PSG will come out and play. I don't care what anybody says. You've got the players to do it. The one team that I don't think will come out and play is Atletico. And the thing is, I looked at that game yesterday, and I think where I think we in a better position going into the quarterfinals than the last 16. I'm going to give up big Russ for this because he brought this up on the train yesterday, and I actually agreed with him. A lot of pressure on Arsenal to get through yesterday. I've got to beat Porto, got to get through against Porto. Now we've got through against Porto. If we get Real Madrid, if we get Barcelona, if we get one of those big boys, we're not going to be favourites. And it ain't the end of the world if we go out. I think we would have been if we'd have lost to Porto. But he turned around and said that those teams will play against us, come out and play, and that will suit us a little bit more than a team that's going to sit in like Porto did. And let's face it, if Atletico are that team, they're going to do exactly what Porto did, but have a little bit more
better. They'll do it better. Yeah,
they do it better. Yeah, exactly that. So I don't want them. I actually wanting
City
Inter
was
Milan to
terrible,
win
though.
yesterday. I actually wanted Inter Milan to win
I
yesterday
understand that.
because I think Inter Milan, even though I don't really want to go to Italy, I think would be a little bit open. And also with going back to Henry's point, they're not being tested as much. Do you know what I mean? Because they're running away with the league. Sometimes you need to be hard and battled and everything like that. So it'd be an interesting draw. But I haven't got a favourite, Dan. I haven't got a favourite. I haven't got a favourite on there.
I know one draw that's definite. Dortmund versus Man City. That's a guarantee.
1,000,000%.
Nah, do you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's have a little game. Let's have a little game. What we think. Let's write down the four sides. See who we can get. Who we get
the closest.
Who gets the closest to it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right.
Well, you go first.
I'm going to go. Manchester City versus PSG.
It's not bad.
Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid.
Wow.
Arsenal versus Barcelona. Borussia Dortmund versus, who's the last team I've missed out?
City.
No, I've got City playing PSG.
Real Madrid.
Who have I got missing?
Who is the last team?
Who's the last team?
Barcelona, was it?
Bayern Munich. So I've got a German tie, all German tie, and an all Spanish tie. There you go, like, you know.
All right, I'll go then. I've written down Man City, Dortmund, Arsenal, Real Madrid, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Barca, Bayern.
Interesting. Right, so what are they again, Dan? Write them down again.
Man City v Dortmund.
Yeah.
Arsenal versus Real Madrid.
Yeah.
PSG versus Atletico.
Yeah.
And Barca v Bayern.
All right. Okay.
Sean, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go Man City, Dortmund, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern against Arsenal, and Barca Inter.
You mean Atleti?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Barcelona Atletico. Sorry.
You basically, I've literally written down the exact same right here. I'm gonna have to change
Really?
that. I'm gonna have to change that.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
go.
Well, no, you haven't got to change it.
No. It's
Just
good.
reference me when you're claiming that you got it right. Just say you copied Sean. It's fine.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna change it.
He's just copied Sean. He's just copied Sean.
Henry Wright.
He's just copied Sean.
All right, Henry, change one then.
I'm gonna go City, Dortmund,
Why is everybody going there? Go on.
Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. He will return and he will deliver. Madrid versus who are the other two?
Barcelona, PSG.
Yeah, El Clasico, Madrid, Barca, and then
the quarterfinal. No,
yeah,
they'll save that. They'll save that for the semis, mate. They'll save that for the semis.
Atletico Madrid versus
PSG.
And I reckon City, Madrid, Bayern, and PSG go through. Sorry, lads.
That's what Henry.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be.
That bloody bit of salt out of your head, will you?
I actually think if Arsenal get Bayern, as I think I predicted, as much as I think Harry Kane will score in both legs, I actually think, or in at least one leg, I do actually think Arsenal. I just think Bayern Munich right now, again, like I said a minute ago, don't follow them enough to be clear about this opinion. But from everything I'm reading and seeing, it seems like there's a lot of discontentment, a lot of arguments that are happening in the background, a lot of like little factions that are picking up and disagreeing with each other in the dressing room. Doesn't feel that happy a place right now. So I wouldn't. I think that if Arsenal were to get Bayern Munich, I think Arsenal fans should feel.
I don't think anyone pulling out Arsenal will be happy. I know I'm not saying that just on a gooner. I don't think anyone will go, yes, get in there. I really don't. I don't think they will. And I understand that we're not great in Europe. I understand we've got a young side and we're the babies of Europe and all this stuff. I get that. But when you look at the form, I don't think you can get there right. That's through. Arsenal are crap. We'll get through them. I don't think there's anybody there that will pick Arsenal out and go, wow, I'm really happy with that. We've really done well. Like everyone will want Dortmund first ahead of Arsenal, in my opinion. Whoever draws out Dortmund will go, right, that's okay.
Yeah, who's the second most desirable team to get?
I think Arsenal.
I don't know.
I think Bayern Munich.
I think
PSG
Arsenal
or
are
Bayern
dark
Munich, I
horses,
think.
but-
Or Barcelona have got loads of injuries. I already put a team out at the moment, I think. Like,
I reckon Dortmund and then it's Barca. Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe.
Everyone's ruling off Bayern. Like they've only got the Champions League to play for, so they're going to put everything into it. The
yeah,
league's
that's
done.
true.
The
It's
league's
not done.
done.
It's not the league's
They're
not done.
10 points behind.
They're 10
Yeah,
points
they're not
behind.
gonna- they're not
And
gonna
they've only
do
got
that.
34 games they play in the Bundesliga.
So if you're
So-
saying, Henry, so just so I'm clear, if you're saying that the league is done when they're 10 points behind, then you are saying that Tottenham are not going to win this league this year in the Premier League, given that we're 11 points behind Arsenal right now. Is that what you're saying?
Mathematically done, then look, it's not over, is it? But
Yeah.
PSG as well. Everyone's ruling off PSG. Kylian Mbappe, and I know that it's always the curse. But now that there's no Messi and Neymar, Mbappe's like, right, we're back to normal here, boys. And he's on, I think he's got, 37 goals in 35 games?
I think
Right.
them and Arsenal are the two teams that are the dark horses. I know that sounds silly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this dark horses thing, but I think
Yeah, I agree with what Henry's saying. A few people are writing off PSG, like, you know what I mean. You can't write them off. You know what I mean. They're still they got.
Well, Mbappe can win a game whenever because he's
On his own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can be crap and he can win a game on his own. Exactly that, like, you know what I mean? So that'd be an interesting game for that. I'm not saying that I'm frightened of them. I don't like going to their ground. It's a bit of a like a bit away from it and everything like that. But listen, I think that you're right what you're saying. I don't think anybody's going to put like Arsenal are a worry for teams. I think but I don't think like Man City or Real Madrid would be going, oh, damn, we got Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, the scenario we want really is Man City to go off against Real Madrid or something like that.
Yeah, that's what we need. Man City, Real Madrid.
I think if Madrid get you lot, and I don't mean it's nasty, they'll go, right, okay, that's done. I think that because they've been there, seen it, and
yeah,
done
they've been there, done it. I totally agree.
We
they'll
don't
get
want to get
okay.
Real Madrid, but I think we'll get Man City or Real Madrid. I said that earlier. We've deluded enough.
I'd love you to get City.
I think we'll get City or Real Madrid. That's the two. It'll be one of those two. I think we'll get. I don't know why, just because the way
When the
it
draw
is.
comes out, then do you want Arsenal to be first? So they've got the choice of 8, the other 7, or do you want another couple of? So you want to come in
the middle? You want to
go out? Yeah, in the middle sort of thing.
Last one out.
Last one out.
Last one out. We'll take whoever's left.
The last one out is.
Also, as well, depending on who you'll get, you'll see your side of the draw. So you may get Dortmund and then play either Madrid or City.
What we want Man City to be pulled out first, Real Madrid to be pulled out next, Atletico Madrid to be pulled out third, and then them 3 are then done. And then as long as it ain't Arsenal in that next one, I'll be happy then after that. That's what I'd love.
Do you think you beat Atletico over 2 legs?
Nah, I don't. I think Diego Simeone is so underrated, mate. Everyone thinks he's washed manager.
You know he's on
Oh, no,
44
he's
million
incredible.
euros a year.
Scary, isn't it?
He gets a good deal, doesn't he? He gets a good deal.
A good deal.
They haven't won anything in 3 years, though. It's amazing. But it'll be 3 years. If it
Who
goes
is?
there.
Do you know when the first leg will be? Who are the game? Like which Premier League games?
It's
are
in between
spread
Aston Villa for us.
In between
Aston Villa and who?
No, Aston Villa. So we play like one game, then we got Aston Villa, and then the next game.
And who's the game before the first leg?
We have got Brighton, so it'd be Brighton. We got Brighton then
away,
Champions League. Yeah, Brighton away, Champions League. Aston Villa at home.
Could be
Champions
worse.
League.
Still hard.
And the thing is, we don't know what's going to happen with that now, because if it stays the same, because Villa are winning, aren't they?
Yeah, they're winning 1-0.
Well, Villa will be in the next round of the conference, and they play on the Thursday, so they won't be able to play on the Saturday.
Right.
We might not be able to play on the Sunday
because you play on the Tuesday.
Because we play on the Tuesday, so they might bring that Aston Villa game forward a day, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's the Europa.
Yeah, they sometimes play the Villa game on the Wednesday.
Yeah, so they might have to play on a Wednesday or something like that, or so that it's not set in stone yet what can happen, like, you know what I mean? So, so it's a very interesting thing, like, and really, you don't even know. You don't want to be playing. We can't. It can't happen. It'll either be that we have to play on the Wednesday in the second leg, and Tuesday in the first leg. I don't know how it all works out. It's a bit complicated, but that's how it is at this moment in time. And if we get into the semi-final, we play the semi-final the week before Spurs.
Wow.
So that is not good. That is not a good order because we've got Chelsea as well to try and sneak.
Yeah, well, that'd be cancelled, I think. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah. Depends how far we get.
Click on that because I was looking at that earlier on. So let me go through that while I'm here.
I was laughing because I've just been sent something which I think is class from Brighton fans. So Brighton fans
after the Spurs game. Sorry, Dan. After the Spurs game. So they play Spurs on the 28th, even though it's scheduled for the 27th for the minute. So that could change to the 27th if we have to play.
This is all like up in
the
air.
But we would then we'd play Tottenham and then the semi-final of the Champions League.
Oh, wow.
You got to rest players against us, sure. I mean, I'd love it. I'd love it if we went out there and battered you and then you lost the Champions League.
It would be horrible, wouldn't it? It would be horrible.
And the game in between the Champions League final, semi-final, is Bournemouth at home. So interesting.
You've got a lot of games still to play this season, haven't you?
Unbelievable.
And not a lot of time to do it.
No,
you're playing a lot, like 2-game weeks for most of the rest of the season.
We're going to definitely play Chelsea before we play. Our running is like because the Wolves game could be called off if Wolves beat Coventry at the weekend. That game would be called off, so we won't have a game on the 20th. Then on the 24th we've got Chelsea, Tottenham at the weekend, Champions League if we're in it, like, you know what I mean. So
Liverpool are in the same boat though. Obviously, they win tonight.
Well, Liverpool got FA Cup as well. Like, it's
it'd be even worse for Liverpool and City, wouldn't it?
Let me just bring this up because Georgie in the chat has seen what I'm about to say because this is class, by the way. It's nothing to do with Arsenal or Spurs, but it has to be done. This is absolutely quality from Brighton fans who know that they're going out tonight, right? So the Brighton fans have responded to the very rude banner that Roma displayed about the Queen last week with ultimate terrace humour by replying with a banner that says, "Totti loves pineapple on his pizza." Mate, that
fair
is
play, Brighton.
Absolute quality. That's so funny.
There's nothing wrong with pineapple on your pizza.
I agree with that, but it was quite funny. That is
good. That's a brilliant banner, like, you know, because I bet
that's best banner.
They won't have it. The Italians, they won't go for
the Italian insult. Then just say that. Absolute class.
Can I ask you guys a question about your running? So I know Liverpool have got a lot of injury problems, but they're seemingly making do. They're seemingly getting the job done with whoever they need to, wherever they need to. With all the fixtures, the double weeks that you've got, do you see Arteta playing full strength as often as he can, and only really rotating to the B team sort of thing that you've got later on in games, sort of preserving legs up when games are done? Or do you see him actually in Premier League games against Bournemouth, against Brighton? Probably not against Tottenham, but do you see him maybe going up, like playing the Nelsons, playing the whoever else in those, the Kiwiors? Do you see that sort of thing happening?
Games. I think he'll make changes in those games. I don't know, but what, like for instance, Partey might come in and Jorginho not, and maybe Trossard from Martinelli, or, you know, one of those players, like, you know, Jesus for a Havertz or something like that. I think he'll try and keep the back four as solid as it can, but I do think he'll make other changes in other areas in games. I think he's going to have to, Sean. You know it, and I know it. He's going to have to. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought Kiwior, for what it's worth, I thought he was one of your best.
Yeah. No, he's doing very, very well. He's doing very, very well. But I think in games we'll have to do that, depending who we're playing. You know, I think when you look at that game against Chelsea, I think they'd probably look at it and go that we make a few changes against Chelsea at home. Because we're at home, and then against Tottenham, you know, we'll probably play our reserves because we know we'll be all right. And then, like, for the big game, we're, you know, Champions League, we'll take on the others, like, you know. Now against Spurs, we've got to go big against Spurs. As simple as that.
We can't be. I don't think we can be putting B teams like you say, Sean. We'll just get hammered. Our B team is crap, mate. Like, let's be real. Like, it's nowhere near. We can't go and put a B team out against the teams that let's just say Bournemouth at home, like Lee said, or Luton at home. We can't play the B team with Eddie up front, and we struggle, mate. We would. Reece Nelson, Em Smith Rowe, Eddie. I think we would. What we can do though is you play the first team. And then in the games where you do start to find that you're winning it comfortably, like we've had previously,
get 'em off.
Sheffield United, get them off,
Yeah,
make
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
five
yeah.
subs, Rice, Saka, you just take the big five off, and then put on the likes of Trossard, Smith Rowe, Tommy Yasu, Zinchenko, those sort of guys come on. Otherwise, I think we've got no chance, mate. Like, I honestly believe that our squad is still weak in certain areas. You know, if we were to lose Saliba, who comes in? Saka, we ain't really got anyone yet. Same with Declan Rice. If he comes off, we're relying on Jorginho or Partey. One of them's got to try and play, or Havertz has got to try and play in his position. I just don't see it really. So,
No, I
yeah,
hear you.
I don't know, man.
I agree.
That's
I
got to
agree.
be the way forward. And it's massive. This is what we wanted, though. Arsenal fans are calling for this. This is what we want this stage of the season. We don't want to be out of everything, and we've still got two of the biggest to go. And we've got to try and do all we can one game at a time to get over the line. And if we can't do that, it needs to be sort of there or thereabouts. Otherwise, people are going to consider what happens next for Arsenal again. This is what we don't want. We don't want to go out in the next round and then, finish 9-10 points off the title race. Then everyone says, well, that's not success. It's worse than last year. What happens now to Arteta? And all that conversation comes up about again. And I don't know. I don't want that again, man. It's too toxic.
Is there a scenario this year where Arsenal don't win a trophy, but the fans will still see it as progress?
Yeah, I think. Well, listen. First of all, Arteta's not going anywhere. Well, I know he's staying now. That he's going to happen. There's no, unless we were to have a howler, somehow come fifth and go out in the next round. Then I really don't see how he's going to. I think the worst season we can have is we come third and we go out in the next round of this Champions League. And then we're out of everything again. Trophyless, we've come third instead of second this time. And I don't think any of the fan base will go, that's it, get him out. You have a section of it. I'm sure Lee Gunner, Northside, Jez Kenny, some of the others will say, yeah, get him gone. This ain't right. But I do think there needs to be serious justification as to why we haven't won that. And I think if we take Man City and Liverpool right to the wire and we lose to Real Madrid, who are the giants of Europe, who have won it 5 times out of 10 in the last 10 years, I think it'd be really harsh to go, right, get rid of him, bring someone else in. But if we were to blow it completely, I think we might have to consider it. But I'm hoping that won't happen.
The other thing, Dan, is that we've improved already from our European adventures last season in the Europa League. We've gone one better in the Champions League, so that adds to it.
14 years, man. I can't believe it's been 14 years since we were last in the last.
Yeah,
that is mad, isn't it?
It is a big thing.
Shows where we've been as a club, man. And fair play to Arteta. He's taken us back to challenging. Can he get us across the line? Well, that's the big question mark now. You know what I'm saying? That is the big question mark. Before we come and finish on Spurs, I wanted to talk a little bit quickly about Ben White and Southgate, because it's come out. Ben White signed a new deal, which is great for the club. He's been phenomenal. Henry, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Like Gareth Southgate coming out, calling him out basically and saying Ben White don't want to be selected. It was actually Edu who told him, which shows you the relationship Ben White and Southgate have got, which is zilch. Is this bad for Ben White? Is this bad on Southgate for calling him out? Could he have dealt with it better in an interview by kind of brushing over it a bit? Or has he just had enough of the lad and thinks, do you know what? If he don't want to play for country, I'll tell everyone he don't. And, Ben White deserves to know better. Like, where are you at with this one, mate?
I think Southgate's just come out and I think he's just defended himself. Like he said, look, I've approached Ben White. I think by his recent form, he deserves to be in there. I think in the tournament, though, I would make a case that I would rather Walker or Trent. But that being said, Ben White can fill in at centre-back. And if needs be, if we get injuries, is composing the ball and can probably play a defensive midfield role, like he did at Brighton, like he did at Leeds. I think it's a shame because Ben White is a fantastic footballer, but he's clearly fallen out with someone in the England ranks. They've gone back and said, look, with a towel between their legs and some roses, and said, look, Benjamin North London is White. Can you come back to the England squad? And clearly they don't want him. What I will say is this is Southgate's last tournament. We probably will bring in someone else for the World Cup, and Ben White will be back in the squad.
Yeah,
what is he? 25.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, so he'll be 27, coming up to his peak years. I think he may be moulded back into potential centre-back role. I think Arsenal sign a full-back who can play both left and right back in the summer. You've already got Timber who can do that. I think you will probably sign another one, and you may have the three competing for the centre-back positions. I think Ben White's very, very underrated. Like, when you look at the full-backs we have got, Kyle Walker now is, 33? Still very, very good, but can be found out. Trent is miles better going forward, but I think White's better defensively. We need a fullback who can consistently do both. Ben White, most of the time, I'd say he's a 7 out of 10 defensively, and then every now and then we'll throw these games in where he gets a couple of assists. Trent does that on the regular, so it's hard to find a kind of formation where you get the best out of Ben White better than the options we've currently already got.
Yeah, man, I think you summed that up well, because for me, Ben White is under the radar, underappreciated. I don't really like the way he's come out and says, I don't want to play for the club, in terms of England, sorry, because you should always want to play for your country. But he's clearly fallen out massively with one of the England coaching staff or Southgate himself. I think Reece James would probably, if he could stay fit, be what you're after, which is basically doing a little bit of everything. I think he's quality, but he can never stay fit. He's just made of glass. Trippier and Walker are definitely going to have one of their last tournaments. And then, of course, Trent, for me, is generational. I think he's an unreal player, but people will always have that doubt about, can he play? Will he be better in midfield? Is he better further up the pitch? Sean, I don't know what your thoughts are on this one, brother, and the squad that he actually picked, Southgate.
I don't really have too strong feelings on it either way. Look, if a player doesn't want to be a part of the squad, so be it. I kind of echo what Henry says. I think we're still strong enough without Ben White. I think Ben White's a really good player, but I still think we can manage. We've got a few options on the right back spot, and I think that I think Henry's hit the nail on the head. As soon as Southgate's out of the way, Ben White will probably reconsider his decision. So it's more around the manager, in my opinion, than the thought of playing for England rather than focusing on Arsenal. I don't think it's the same case as like a Jamie Vardy who retired early from the international game, whatever. But yeah, the rest of the squad seemed like it from what I saw. I'm not a massive international football fan, Dan, so I don't really pay too much attention. But it seemed pretty standard, right? So yeah, I don't have too much more to say about it.
Is there not an argument where you could play Stones and Ben White as centre back?
Well, that's the thing. What I would say, like, I'm a little bit disappointed that this happened because, forget about he's got a problem with Gareth Southgate. He ain't going to be there next year, like, you know what I mean? And it puts a little bit more pressure onto him, I think, like, and I think that with Ben White, because he can play so well at right back, if he was to play a back three, he's comfortable going out wide, isn't he? Like, so, when I played, you used to say, get the central defender, one-on-one in wide areas, and but Ben White's comfortable in those areas. So, like, play a back three, which Gareth Southgate could do. You're comfortable. Is Ben White out there, like, and I think, like, at the end of the day, name me a better right back in the league than him at the moment. English, before you Spurs boys jump in, and I'll turn around and go, well, there isn't, because
Peter Porro.
Yeah. James is.
Do you think he's a better right back than Trent Lee?
I think he's a better right back than Trent. And for me, I think Trent will go into midfield. I think, like, I think that I think Trent's position will be as a wide right player or going.
I think he's better defensively, Lee, but Trent going forward destroys him. Like, Trent is unreal.
Well, yeah, of course he does. Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? He's not always fit. He's injured again now, Trent. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think Trent's been one of the best players this season, like, for me.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Until he got injured, he was player of the year.
Yeah, like, and there's no argument about that. But I still, there's a lot of games that he's played in midfield for Liverpool. I've quite liked him in midfield. I think that's probably his better position.
Could you not play Rice to kind of hold him midfield player, and then Trent as the 8 and Bellingham as the 10?
You could do that. I'd rather do that than Phillips or Henderson, if I'd be really honest.
Neither of them can go to the year. If he picks Henderson, I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, so that's how I see it. I just think, like, from like, I'm only saying, like, why I think it's wrong is that, I think you should, as a player, want to play international football. Forget about if the manager, you don't like him or not. I never agreed, and I still never agree with Roy Keane walking out of Ireland's team in the World Cup, like, for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Like, you should stick to your country and all that, like, and I don't want him to regret it in years to come, like, you know what I mean? Think, I could have had tweet for it. I don't agree with all this crap going about, like, he doesn't get on with the man, you know what I mean? Listen, the video today when he's signing for re-sign for Arsenal, everybody loves him in the Arsenal camp. You know what I mean? I don't know there are any problems at Brighton. I don't know any problems when he was at Leeds. Why is there all sudden problems at England? And the reason is, and I totally agree with him that day, we was in the World Cup, or I think it was the World Cup, or was it the World Cup? Yeah, it was the World Cup. And he picked Dyer in front of him that day. You know what I mean? Like, and he just said, "Well, if you're picking him in front
But
of me,
Dyer's
I'm
a Rolls Royce now. He's at Bayern Munich.
going
Mate.
home." You know what I mean? I think that was what it was to do with. You know what I mean? I think it was in a non-rubber game. We was already through or whatever. He didn't even bother playing him, and I think he just said, "I'm wasting my time here," like, you know. And but
the only
listen,
doubt
I think that Southgate's offered him an orange bar.
That is what I'll say. The only doubt we have got to win in this tournament is not the players, it's the manager.
Yeah, 100%. We won't win it.
That's what it is, you know. That is what it is. That team we got is unreal. Like Henry says about him, Trent in midfield. I think Trent should play right back because Ben White ain't there. And I think we should play Rice, Bellingham and Maddison as a three in midfield and then go Foden and Saka either side of Kane. I think that'd be electric. I think that'd just be ridiculously good. So
Can I just throw something in there quickly, guys? And it's not England related. But as it stands, Bayer Leverkusen are going out of the Europa League.
Are you serious?
At home to FK Karabag.
Well, Liverpool winning it then. Liverpool
Haribo?
won it already. Karabag. Oh my God,
Karabag.
they are. They're losing. What is going on with that Karabag team? Maybe they'll go and win it. What do they know that we don't?
Don't underestimate teams.
They ain't lost a game yet, Bayern.
I mean, Liverpool are only winning 11-2 on aggregate.
Liverpool were 4-0 up in 13 minutes. That's how hilarious that was. That was a shocking game.
Brighton are winning, though. Brighton are winning.
Well,
Yeah,
that
they're
pineapple
4-1
on
down
pizza sign, mate. Told you that pineapple on pizza sign has got them 1-0. I tell you. Let's close on Spurs because you did do well. I must admit, Sean, I was well impressed with you in the second half against Villa. I thought Maddison was class, and I thought going forward you were great. And I think when Tottenham have got their players fit in terms of their first 11, I do think you're a good outfit. It's just been your strength and depth, and there really ain't no reason why without, and I'm talking sort of 6 players, not 1 or 2 here, without a real good couple of transfer windows for Tottenham that you can't move forward under Postecoglou. Really impressed with his press conference, by the way. I think he's quality, like some of the stuff he does with the media. Like, do you want to get back in the Champions League? Not really. I want to win something. I want to build a team to win something, not just compete and take part. And I thought that is what a Tottenham fan should want to hear. Now, with the banter aside, it's Tottenham, so they're not known for winning stuff, mate, right? But I liked how he went about answering that question because that's quite refreshing. A lot of managers have gone, Champions League is really important. It's massive to be in the Champions League. And I thought, wow, as a manager for the first time going, I don't really want to take part in things. I want to actually win stuff. And I thought that was quite refreshing as far as I'm concerned, Sean.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'll go as far as to say sometimes his ambitions, can knock on the door of reality, and sometimes he walks through it to some sort of other planet where he was asking the other day his top 4, a trophy or whatever, and he said, I don't know if I need to go back and read the rules, but I don't think we're just fighting for top 4 right now. So I think he's still trying to make out like we're fighting for something bigger and better. Look, I'll be entirely honest with you. Whilst I like that side of his press conferences, I actually dislike another side to him in press conferences when he's asked a question. I get it that most managers don't like journalists, and they always have a little bit of a kind of relationship where they think that they're trying to get some kind of edgy response. But I do feel like Ange's responses sometimes to sincere, genuine questions can be quite snarky and quite rude at times. But put that to one side, in the kind of like just the general vibe of what's Ange's ambitions. Yeah, I'm on board it, and I think the Villa game was a demonstration of what we're capable of when everything clicks. But thus far this season, we haven't really played that 45. That second half, 45 minutes was the best I've seen of Tottenham. At a ground that Tottenham usually have good format, but against a team that have done really well at their own ground this season, like 18 wins on the bounce, including beating you lot. But then it's whether Tottenham are going to do it on Saturday against Fulham away, and then whether Tottenham will then, after the break, will then turn up at home against Luton and Forest before we got that big run in. Tottenham are playing really well against the bigger teams, which is why I'm not fearful of playing Arsenal at our ground or City or Liverpool away. I think it's obviously a really difficult place to play, but Tottenham this season have played their best football under Ange Ball against the top 6. We're undefeated against the top 6, Chelsea aside. But for me, the most important thing now is to get the job done against Fulham and Luton and Forest next before we start to focus on the games where most Tottenham fans are thinking, we've got a terrible run in. I think we've got an exciting run in. But yeah, look, and when Ange Ball works, it's brilliant, Dan. It really is. It's brilliant to watch, but hasn't happened too often this season. But I think the next season, a little bit more time, a few more players like you speak of, and I think next season is going to be an exciting one for Tottenham.
Listen, I think that's well put, man. And Henry, I'll come to you. I mean, obviously that's a nice run of fixtures, by the way. I didn't know there was your next three. Fulham, Luton, Forest. I mean, that's
The
9
three
points.
after that, though, are a little bit.
Yeah, listen, they are, but if you get the 3 wins against Luton, Forest, and Fulham, then that's all you can do. Like to go into those 3 games against City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, right? Because they are your next 3 after that, I guess. So I think for me, like I honestly believe, like I think you're far off the title still. I think there's like 7 players you need to try and even get close. I think their positions are quite clear. I think you might look at your fullbacks and go, wow, but the backups to them ain't great. Likewise, your wingers, I think they need cover. You need a centre forward if Son gets a knock. And I think you need another creative midfielder and a defensive midfielder because if Maddison and Basuma go out, you're kind of stuffed really. So I think there's clear what you need players wise. But I think it's been a good start for Spurs in terms of what Andrew's doing. I don't think it's been an amazing season because again you're trophyless. But I will say that you have got a massive say in this title race, mate. You've got to play us all.
Yeah, and that's brilliant that it's in our hands. Obviously, Villa are 2-0 up now against Ajax. You fancy them to go to the latter stages, we'll probably get top 4 in our first season. And if you look where Klopp was in it after his first year, they finished 8th. Arteta finished 8th after his first year. Admittedly, he got an FA Cup. And like you said, a few marquee signings, maybe bringing in Eze, another defender, and that anchor of a 6. And I don't think you're that much further ahead. Obviously, you've got the experience now. You're in your second title race. But yeah, we've gone out the domestic trophies pretty early. But any Spurs fan at the beginning of the season, if you said top 4, they would have bitten your hand off for it. We had a manager come in. No one really knew much about him. Bit of a dark horse. And the domestic side of things hasn't been great because we've gone out very early of both cups. But league position wise, I actually think league position wise, we're ahead of schedule. I thought we'd be between kind of 6th to 8th. Selling Harry Kane, I mean, he was everything to us. 30 goals on his own. And we've made some smart signings. It's just about now in the summer, how do we close the gap? Like you boys were in a very similar position. You finished 5th, but then you went out and spent big money on players. Then you finished runners up. Then you went, how do we go to the next stage? You spent big money on Rice and Havertz. And I expect Arsenal will probably go and buy another 2 big players in the summer that have got a little bit more experience, maybe 25, 26, 27, maybe an Ivan Toney or whatever, to close the gap. But I think right now, all Spurs fans are happy. But this title race, the fact that we've got to play Liverpool, City and Arsenal, and I'm going to predict and tell you exactly what's going to happen now. We will lose at Anfield, we will draw to City, and we will beat you. Because that's just what we do. It's just what we do. You can bet your bottom, we're losing to Liverpool. Every Spurs fan knows we never get anything against them, apart from the first game this season. Man City, I think we get a draw. But you lot, no Spurs fan will be alive as much as they are in that game, knowing that we can be the team to derail your title race. It'd be sure. The atmosphere would be rocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait for that game. It's going to be brilliant. But I actually think we'll be. I don't fear. I think you're right about Liverpool. I think we never get anything at Anfield. But City, I think we've got a chance of doing something as well. It's a free hit, Against City, it's a free hit, right? If we run them. Sorry, Dan.
Could get a point. Sorry, if you can get a point against Man City, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think we could. I think but also I think that the Tottenham fans or the Tottenham team will be like, let's just play our best football. If we beat them, amazing. If we don't, well, we're on the one hand helping Man City.
I'd rather lose to City than lose to you lot. Not just because of the North London derby side of things, but I can't. Your fan base. But like you two are all right because you're pretty level-headed. But
careful, Henry, mate. Henry talks Arsenal's going to take a dent if you talk.
There's about another 30 Arsenal fans I'll find somewhere underneath the earth's crust.
The thing is, I understand why you don't want us to win the league, and there's a lot of fan bases that don't because they hate us. But I do feel that, oh my God, is it 2-0 Quarterback? And they've got
and they've had a red card. They're down to 10 men and they're 2-0 up.
Oh my God.
Bayern are out of the Europa. It's Liverpool.
Bayern Leverkusen are out, mate. It's Liverpool going to win that now.
Liverpool,
as long as West Ham don't bloody win it. Oh my God, West Ham. I mean, they need to go out next round.
Do you think Moyes should be sacked? Because They're
No,
sitting
I think
yeah.
he'll
seventh in
go.
the league.
I think he'll go at the end of the season, boys. But he does in Europe. He does seem to get over the line, doesn't he? Like
Doing
in
incredible
game.
stuff. Karabag have had someone sent off.
Yeah, they've had
Yeah,
someone
they're
sent
down
off.
to
Yeah,
10,
they're
and they're
2-0
still
up
through.
though. Which is
Well,
mad.
you know, I mean, that's good. If Bayern get one now, it'd be interesting.
Good ending.
Good ending. Only got to get 2 goals.
Yeah.
No away goals or anything, is
No
there?
away goals.
There's
So.
no away goals now. Judges, I mean, Spurs. I think they're getting Champions League. I actually think they'll finish above Villa as it goes because Villa are in this Conference League thing. Good season for Spurs, well, really good season for Spurs. I don't think anyone had them fourth, to be honest. But they got to say, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, they got to play. How do you see them games going? And like what Tottenham fans can't wait to play us. I get why, because it's obviously could derail us. But surely we look, and if they got fit side, it's different. Not can change by then. But surely Arsenal shouldn't be going to Tottenham thinking, how are we going to win here?
It just depends on the day, doesn't it? Like, I'd love to be playing Tottenham now. The way we're playing at the moment, I'd be very, very confident, because we're in form. But you don't know what's going to happen in a few weeks' time, and see how it goes here. Listen, they were cockroach and a little bit confident last season. Now we're there, and we just blew them off the park. You know what I mean? They was quite happy with a 2-0 defeat. So listen, I think it's going to be a good game when we play them. Listen, I'm not going to lie. We've got to go there and win. I think it's as simple as that. I think that, but they're the least of my concerns at the moment because we've got much bigger games before that to play. And when Spurs come along, that'll be the next biggest game. It's City's going to be massive for us. And I think we've got Luton after that, Brighton, and then probably Tottenham. So it's going to be some big games there for us. Listen, I've got to say, I watched the first half that I was at football on Sunday, and I said I was going out for Mother's Day, so I said to the lads, I'm going. This is boring. This is going to end up 0-0. It was like an awful first half. Getting ready, come down, and I looked at the screen, 4-0. If you'd have said to me after, there was a few Spurs fans in the club, Tottenham fans. If they'd have said to me, we're going to win this 4-0, I wouldn't have believed you. But I watched the highlights, definite sending off. But I think Tottenham were 2-0 up at that stage anyway and cruising. I don't think that made much of a difference, probably at the end of it. And a deserved win. Listen, when you go into the top 4 or titles, what you've got to do is go and beat your rivals, and that's exactly what they've done. If they hadn't won that game, I still think Villa would have been catchable. Spurs' game in hand, by the way, Chelsea away, so that's no give me at the end of it. And Chelsea are another team that's starting to worry. They're starting to come into a little bit of form. So, but I do think so. I backed Spurs to get top 4 at the beginning of the season. I thought they made some very, very astute signings, and as we know, it's an hard place to go to. So at Tottenham, their next 3 games are 6-9 points guaranteed. But at the end of it, that's when Tottenham have struggled, I think, in those games. I've been finding it very, very difficult against teams to break down and everything but I still think that they've got enough to win those games. I think I still look back at Arsenal down and say Fulham will be our game where we should have won that game, how we lost that, because I do think Spurs will go there and win that game. I back Spurs to go there and win. It'd be difficult. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I still think Spurs will get over the line. So it'd be very, very interesting going in those games. How I see it, I think that Spurs will get a draw against Liverpool. I think they get a draw against Man City, and the old Gooners will win. Thank you very much, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Thank you.
Man, I just want to beat them. But listen, we've got a lot of football to play before that Arsenal Spurs game. That's for sure. Apparently, it's 2-1 by.
I'm going to get off and watch this game. Come on,
Just quickly. Have you seen? I looked at the transfer market. This Karabag squad, their most valuable player, according to market value, according to transfer market, is 1.2 million euros. They've only got 3 players that are worth more than $1 million, and one of them is on loan from Bayer Leverkusen.
I bet they lose this game. I'm going to go watch it. I bet they lose this game. Unbelievable.
No, I reckon they'll get a couple of goals.
You reckon? Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
10 men. They won't be able to deal with the pressure at Karabag for the last 15 minutes.
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
mean.
think
That's what I was
if
meaning.
they
I
get
think
another
I
one,
really
they go through in extra time or whatever. Like, it's going to be an exciting. Like, how long to go, boys? 10 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Yeah.
15. All right.
It's going to be an exciting
see.
15 minutes.
Let's go and watch it. Listen, love to Henry, love to Sean. Make sure you go over Spurs Talk Show. Make sure you go over to Henry Wright TV and Henry Talks Arsenal. I mean, Henry Talks Football. So make sure you do that. And
About Liverpool, so it's not all Arsenal.
oh, okay. It's not all that. Okay. Make sure you do me a favour as well. There's nearly 700 of you watching here live. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Surfshark VPN is in the comment section and in the link to the description. All you got to do is click it, and there you go. It takes you to it. So make sure you do that as well. We'll see you next time. We're off to watch the football. Take it easy. Peace.
Take care, boys.